Hello, we're back again with another season to Compliance Café, your one stop solution for all your compliance requirements. I'm Dhruti Shah, and today we're going to dive into one of the most lenient yet important compliance aspect, that is Form PAS-6. And to walk us through the intricacies, the applicability, and the filing requirements, and everything to know about PAS-6, we have with us Mr. Dron Trivedi. We welcome you, Drone, to this podcast.
Thank you, Dhruti, for giving me this opportunity to explain about this topic.
Yeah, most welcome. So let's begin. First, to begin with, I think we'll cover the applicability. To whom is PAS-6 applicable?
So, see, as per Rule 9A of Prospectus Allotment of Security Rule 2014 of the MCA, this rule was applicable to only for public companies earlier, but due to the recent amendment brought by the MCA in the financial year 2023 in the Rule 9B of Prospectus and Allotment of Security Rule 2014, now this rule is applicable to private companies as well.
Okay, so basically they've just expanded the scope to even private
Correct.
companies now,
Yes,
right?
correct.
Okay. And so now that we've spoken about applicability, let's also cover the exceptions. Are there any exceptions to those who
Yes.
don't have to file like
So
PAS-6?
basically, there are few companies to whom this section is not applicable. This rule is not applicable. So first is Navy company,
Right.
government company, wholly owned subsidiary company, and small company. But over here, there's a twist in the wholly owned subsidiary company part. Wholly owned subsidiary of public companies are exempt from filing form PAS-6, but wholly owned subsidiary of private companies are not exempt.
Right. I think it's just logical that now the private companies are covered to file form PAS-6. Of
Yes.
course, the wholly owned
Correct.
subsidiaries of privates will also be applicable. Perfect.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now moving forward to the main question, that is, what is form PAS-6?
So some people may call form PAS-6 as reconciliation of share capital and audit report. So basically it's a half yearly form filing with regards to the reconciliation of share capital with the shares held in demat as well as in the physical form.
Right. Okay. So basically, we are reconciling the shares issued by a company, and we compare it with those which are in dematerialized. That is, of course, checking with the NSDL and the CDSL, right? And the physical form of holding
Correct.
shares. Okay. Right. So now when we are covering the basics, this is what has always been our trend, that we initially come with the basics and then come with the tricky segment of it. To end the basic segment, I think the last question is, what are the due dates and the penalty provisions?
E-form PAS-6. So for the period April to September, the company should file form PAS-6 before 29 November. And for the period October to 31st March, the company should file form PAS-6 before 30th May. In default, as per Section 450 of the Companies Act 2013, subject to a maximum of rupees 2 lakhs on the company and rupees 30,000 per officer in default.
Okay, so far we've covered the basics of PAS-6. Let's move to a segment wherein we take up questions which can generally be doubts or probably experiences that people might want to know about. So, Drone, is dematerialization mandatory before filing PAS-6?
No, dematerialization is not mandatory, but however, for the company to go for corporate action, that is right issue, bonus issue, or further issuance of any securities, so before initiating for corporate action, the director, KMP, as well as the promoter have to mandatorily get their shares dematerialized, and without getting dematerialized, they cannot proceed with the corporate action.
Okay. So for all those companies on which ISIN is applicable,
Yes.
and they want to do a corporate action, so they have to dematerialize. For director, promoters, and KMP, they
Correct.
have to dematerialize.
Absolutely.
Okay. For others, it is not. As it is, I think the ministry is inching towards digitalization, so we might expect that this might later become mandatory on everyone. But
We
so
might
far,
expect it from the ministry in the
right,
near future.
but as
Yeah.
of now, it's not. Okay.
Correct.
So moving on to another interesting question. That is, can multiple securities be covered in the same Form PAS-6?
Yes, in the first page itself, the form requires to mention the ISIN number. So for multiple securities, only one form PA6 is required to be filed.
Okay. So basically, the class of securities can be different, and different
Yes.
ISIN are to be obtained for different
Correct.
class of securities.
Yes.
But there's okay, so whole and sole just one form, and you record all your securities. Right?
Correct. Yes.
Does debenture form part of recording securities in PAS
See,
6?
for the debenture part, ISN obtaining of ISN is required for debentures, but reporting of debentures is not required in Form PA6 because it's outside the ambit. And in Form PA6, we report for equity shares and for preference shares.
Okay, perfect. All right. So, one more doubt. I think one of our viewer had asked
Okay.
that in case there is no change in shareholding pattern, does the company still need to file Form PAS-6?
Yes, irrespective of there is any change in the shareholding pattern, or if there is no no share change in the shareholding pattern, you will have to file Form PS6.
Okay. Okay. So that was about the dematerialization and multiple securities and everything. Moving forward, just a curious question. For all those who weren't eligible earlier to obtain ISIN, if they hit the eligibility criteria post 30th of June 2025, which is the deadline, how will PAS-6 have to be reported by them?
See, over here, I'll explain you with an example. Suppose the company hits the eligibility criteria as of 1st October 2025. So, as per the rule given by the MCA, now we have to comply with obtaining the ISIN provision within 18 months from the end of the financial year. So, for first, since the company has, applicable ISIN, matlab hit the applicable criteria for obtaining the ISIN. So financial year will be ended up to 31st March 2026.
Right.
So within 18 months from 31st March
31st March
26,
26.
so that will
That
come around 30th September 2027.
perfect.
Up till then, the company has the time to obtain the ISIN.
Okay. So whenever that they hit the eligibility criteria,
Yes.
18 months from the end of that financial year is
Correct.
when they have to obtain the ISIN.
Absolutely correct.
Okay. Then what about those who are in the process of ISIN? To put it simply, they have applied for an ISIN, but they've not yet obtained it uh, by 30th of June 2025. How
Okay.
will the treatment be with them then?
See, notification was released by MCA that those companies after 31st March 2023 who ceased to be a small company were required to obtain ISN within 18 months from the end of the financial year. That
Right.
is somewhere before 30th September 2024, they were supposed to obtain the ISN. But however, considering the pressure on the depositories,
Depository.
that is NSDL and CDSL, MCA extended the timeline to 30th June 2025.
Right.
So before that, 9 months time was given additionally to obtain the ISN. However, those company who have not obtained the ISN, in my opinion, will, in the near future stage, MCA can impose penalty upon them.
Right. Of course, it was a lengthy time given to them, and if
Yes.
they've not yet complied by it, then
Correct.
it's most likely that MCA might.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So coming to the last leg of the debate or discussion or podcast, whatever you call it, um, one interesting question again. The company was eligible to obtain an ISN. It obtained an ISN. Now how the transfer of shares will happen, like will they have to actually dematerialize the shares and only then the transfer can happen, or just the company had to obtain the ISIN, they obtain, and now they don't need to really get into dematerialization and they can just transfer physical to physical? How does it work?
See, obtaining ISIN was mandatory for the company. So company duty is to obtain the ISIN. But however, getting dematerialized of shares is the responsibility of the shareholder. So company will intimate to its shareholder that it will recommend to the shareholders, please get your shares dematerialized. And but however, when the company has obtained the ISIN now, and its shareholders are planning to transfer the shares, then they will have to mandatorily get their shares in dematerialized form and transfer such shares in demat format only.
Okay, so it is going to be the responsibility of all the shareholders. Firstly, the responsibility of the company to intimate that
Yes.
the ISIN has been obtained and they need
Correct.
to dematerialize their shares.
Correct. Yes.
And then the second responsibility and the onus on the shareholders to get it dematerialized if they want to sell or transfer their shares.
Correct.
Either way.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So another twist in this case, for all those companies which have not yet hit the eligibility criteria of obtaining an ISIN, for them I think it's the normal course. They can
Correct.
transfer
Yes.
physical to physical.
For them, they can transfer the shares into physical form at only. Yeah.
Okay, so they have the timeline, or probably if they've hit the eligibility criteria, but they've not yet obtained an ISIN, they're in the process of obtaining, and during that time, how the transfer will work.
In my opinion, the company has been given a period of 18 months, right? Within the period of 18 months, you have to obtain the ISIN.
Right.
So before getting submitting all your documents to the RTA, I would recommend to transfer the shares into the physical format only before submitting the documents to the RTA, and then you can then you can approach RTA for obtaining the ISIN.
Right. So that just solves the issue. Basically,
Correct.
you get
Yes.
it transferred and then obtain an ISIN.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
But this should be within the period of 18 months, like
Before the company has obtained the
Yes.
ISIN, because
Correct.
once the company has obtained the ISIN, dematerialization is the only way out.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much, Drone, for your insights. And it was, I hope it just solved all your queries and even the minutest doubts that you might have. And if there's any left, you can always write to us in the comment box and we'll surely get back to you. Thank you so much,
Thank
Drone.
you so much, Ruti.
Thank you, viewers.